Boy, it seems like a lot of birthdays are going on this time of year. Anybody have a birthday today? Raise your hand. Anybody's birthday by any chance? No. Yesterday? Tomorrow? This year? Oh, good. Anyway, today's birthday is Father Ilario. He was the associate here, worked primarily with the Hispanic at the mission, but today's his birthday. Yesterday was Father Alfredo, who's also the associate here, again, dealing primarily with the Hispanic. In fact, he turned the big 50 yesterday, Father Alfredo. Again, we don't see too much of him because he works at the San Jose Mission. Also, was Kelly's birthday yesterday as well. Kelly, how about that, huh? And tomorrow is Rick, our DRE. That's his birthday tomorrow. So a lot of birthdays going on. Yeah, he can't hear you. He's not here. But thanks anyway. I'll let him know that you clapped for him on his birthday. Nice to have warm weather again, even a little bit brisk. Still much, much better than what? Monday? That was cold. That was not just Florida cold. That was cold. Yeah, even Robert Vick would agree. Robert Vick last Sunday broke out and escaped from prison in Kentucky. He got out, escaped, made it, free man. Monday was that frigid cold weather. Monday evening, he called the cops and turned himself back in. Take me back to prison. I'm freezing. Wow. Yeah, prison's a big deterrent, isn't it? Anyway. Oh, some months ago, I was rummaging through my garage and have these different boxes and cases, and I was going through this, my old photo album, box of photo albums, and in it has some letters, some cards, and I didn't even realize I had it because I really don't save those sort of things. I'm going to try to make rooms, but for some reason I kept this, and this, it was a card, and it was right after I was ordained a priest back in '83. I was ordained in Columbus, Ohio. That's where our seminary was, out in Worthington. And this must have been a few days later, leaving, go back to the Northeast. And while my last year, when I was a deacon, you helped at a parish during that last year of your seminary training. And I was at a parish called St. Catherine's, which is next door to Columbus in Bexley, Ohio. And I used to work with the school kids there anyway. So this is the card that one of the young girls gave me at that time. As far as I still had it. It said, "Bye. Wherever you go, something wonderful will be there. You." Ooh. Hold on, it gets better, trust me. I hope you like this card. When I was looking for a card for you, I saw this one and said, "This is perfect. It fits him just right. You're a wonderful and special person, and wherever you go, the people that are getting you don't know how lucky they are." How about that? Now, I realize some of you are thinking, "Oh yeah, you like him that much? You can have him back. Take him." I know that's also, that's how human nature is, but the reason I read that to you, not to blow my own horn and, but I just share that with you because it struck me. I remember I was just ordained, so still sort of on cloud nine, you understand that. The oils were still not even dry yet. And I read it and, sort of touched, Wow, yeah, me, that's who I am, all right. And then all of a sudden things change after a few days, a little later on, because what was drilled into us and drilled probably all of us, humility, don't be proud. And so that's not, put that aside, you can't handle it, that's not right. But it was more than simply this virtue of humility. It was what I call sort of reality set in. I said, well, that's not really true. She doesn't really know all about me. If you knew, you would not say that. Not that, please. And then others give you other messages as well, called in and little by little you say, well, it's nice, but it's really not true. And that's not who I am. I'm not terrible, but maybe okay, but I'm not that. That's not me. See? And so what it becomes, as it was, buried in my garage, buried in a box, and really no longer hold true. Because I share that with you because I want to take it even a step higher, raise that bar, because today's the feast of the baptism of our Lord, and we heard how the gospel ended. The voice from heaven, his heavenly Father saying to Jesus, "You are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Now that voice was there because when Jesus begins his ministry, they say, well, what gives you the credentials to do what you're doing? Oh, now we know because the Father spoke, so therefore we will take you seriously. That's one level. But the other level is this, because we too are baptized. And because we are baptized, we have a special relationship with God now. All right? We have a special relationship. And what he said to Jesus, believe it or not, he says about you and me. You are my beloved. You're right. Yeah? It's almost, as I couldn't accept that, it's almost hard to accept those, you are my beloved in whom I am well pleased. You're kidding? Not me. Not me. You can't mean that about me. Pope Francis, yeah, okay, maybe him, yeah, those saints, yeah, not us. I'm divorced. I have addictions. I have these struggles. I have these problems. I've done this. You don't mean me. That's not reality. But the reality is this, you are baptized, you're part of God's family, you are his beloved. And we think, well, it's just God being nice. Really not meaning it, just sort of saying nice things, you know? It's like when your little toddler comes up and draws a picture for you. Here, Mommy, here, Daddy, you look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. You have it upside down. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, what is it? It's you. Oh, it's me. It's beautiful. Come on. We know it's really not beautiful, but, you know, they did it. So we say those nice words, and maybe we think God is like, everybody gets a trophy kind of God, you know? You're my beloved. Yeah, right. But it's true. Imagine, though, if we really let those words sink in, and I really accept and I believe those words. Not in some sort of sense of pride, but I am God's beloved. Despite my shortcomings, my sins, no matter what I have done, I am his beloved. And he is well pleased in me. How do you think people respond better? When you remind them, you drill in their faults, their failings, their shortcomings. Look at you, you're no good, you're late. You think that changes people? Make them really change? You pound that into them? Or when you really give them honest encouragement, that you notice something and you praise that, all of a sudden, really? You think that of me? Then I think we respond differently. You know, when I mentioned I was in Columbus, Ohio, in the seminary. We lived downtown in Columbus. It was a boys and club building, in fact. We lived on the top 2 floors, and down below we had a boys and girls club. And in the boys and girls club, they had a boxing team. It was run by a fellow named King Bookins. He, in fact, helped train Olympians. That was part of his job. He used to train Olympians. So they had a boxing team, a traveling boxing team. And one afternoon, I happened to wander into the boxing room there, and had the little speed bag. I always wanted to hit one of those speed bags. So I was fooling around, you know, trying to do it, trying to get my coordination. He says, hey, he says to me, you have some fast hands. Would you like to learn how to box? Box me? Whoa, put them up. I said, me box? Well, all right. Dun, 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 dun. Rocky, that's me. I said, wow, this guy works for the Olympics. He sees me. He says, you could be a boxer. I said, oh my gosh. And I thought, you know, I like my nose where it is. Maybe big, but I like the way I like where it's placed. I didn't want it over here. And I'm thinking also, I have terrible eyes, by the way. I wear contacts, see? So, and I'm thinking, well, one or two things. One, you can leave the contacts in, but I think if you get hit in the eye, that's not good for the eyeball. And if you take your contacts out, where is he? You know, I said, well, maybe boxing isn't my call, you know? But you know, it's over 30 years later. And every now and then when I think what he said to me, I feel, wow, I had fast hands. I could have been a boxer. I feel something. I do feel good. You know that? It's, you know, that's how it works. And so if you think you're God's beloved, well, you think that about me, that I'm going to live for you. I am going to honor and please you. Mm-hmm. And so this Sunday, as mentioned last week, and also the letter, we call it sort of Sign-Up Sunday, asking you either to recommit to ministries or to sign up for a ministry. Because we're baptized, and that's when you're baptized, that's what you do, because baptism begins Jesus' ministry. Now he starts. And because we're baptized, we have a ministry as well. I'd like to show a little DVD about some of our parishioners who speak about giving back their talent, But I want to apologize. So the very beginning does talk about treasure, which we had in November. I didn't edit it well enough. I don't mean to talk about that. That's done. But it leads into the talent part. So just listen to the focus really on the talent part. My apologies for the beginning. Okay, please, Richard.
I used to be one of those, I only thought stewardship was money. Oh, here they come, they just want more money. The main gift that you have is that spirit that God put inside of all of us.
You know, you think that maybe financially you can't contribute financially to doing something out in the community. But I find the more that I give of myself in finances, the more I receive. And sometimes I question, I said, where did that come from? That comes from the Lord and from within.
I find I have to have faith and trust God that He says if you give of your first fruits, He is going to give back to you.
You know, when you start out with even making a donation to the church, you know, I've looked at the different percentages that were, you know, that are on the slip that we're filling out and wonder, you know, what could I do? What should I do? And just kind of stretch a little bit, and it's always worked out for me.
Being a part of a community that does so much, the people here, what they accomplished is just amazing. And to be a part of that community, you have to be involved to get an idea of the greatness that's happening within the community. And then to be a part of it, it's exciting.
A greeter at the door, an usher, and if you don't like the limelight, maybe helping out after, just pick up the church a little bit. You don't really have to put yourself out there too far. And this church is amazing, the number of ministries that are available. If people would just look at them, I'm sure there'd be one.
Take the chance, you know, just to do whatever you can. You know, if you're not sure about it, it'll work out for you. I can tell you, you will feel good about it.
If everybody and every member could take their little portion and do their small piece, the amazing things that will come from that would be huge.
Make time. It'll make you a better person, make your community a better person, and your faith too. You know, it will increase your faith in God.
And it's not that I'm not busy. I'm extremely busy because I'm a professor. I'm involved in many organizations in the community. But I feel that this not only meets the joy of my soul, it's a way of giving back to God for the way He has blessed me.
I think about times when, you know, you feel like, oh, I just don't know if I can go do that. Do I have the time to go do that? But I go, just like going to a meeting. You know, you've worked all day, you go home, oh my gosh, I have to go to a meeting. But when I go and all of a sudden you realize that maybe you go and you find that other people have had a bad day themselves, and you feel like, oh, I did pretty good, you know. It makes you feel, or maybe you can help somebody at that point too. And so it makes it all worthwhile.
In giving is where you receive. I mean, Christ gave His life on the cross for us. He gives us His body and blood every Sunday and in daily Mass. And in return, He's asking very minimal.
And it's amazing. Over a period of time, God will bless you because you know you're giving for His kingdom and to make sure His ministry, you know, succeeds on earth.
You just got to figure out what your niche is. And again, prayer. Pray, you know. God's going to show you what He wants of you.
You know, everything doesn't have a price tag on it. You don't ask, well, what's in it for me? How much do I get paid? That should not be our first question or first attitude. Stewardship, remember, time, talent, and treasure. All that I have is God's gift to me. You know, whatever abilities, what physical health, what intelligence, it's a gift, and we return that gift back to God. Okay? And so we want to ask you to help out. Now, we ask the ushers now at this point, hand out those commitment cards, please. For those who may not have received one, for those who may have lost one, forgotten where they placed it. Here's your chance to come on down, guys. You can sign up again, recommit to what you're doing, and to sign up for the first time. I ask you, there are many, many ministries on that list you can see, but there may be things that you're doing that's not, involved in St. Peter's. The world isn't St. Peter's. It's much, much bigger than this. So when I ask you, if you're involved outside the community, maybe you coach Little League, work at the hospital, the library, whatever it may be, would you mind just scribbling that on the card somewhere that we can recognize that and honor that as well? Because that's ministry. When you realize I do this because I want to get back because God has been good to me. So what you're doing is not only here at St. Peter's, your ministry may be outside our church. And that's fine. This is just a sample of what you can do. Also in that card, you'll find that maybe there's things that you can offer, but it's not listed. Maybe you have a gift or a talent, and you say, I don't really see a place for it. Well, just a few weeks ago, we had a man call our parish. He's retired, came down from up north to spend the winter here. He says, I'm a retired electrician. I got time on my hands. If you can use me, let me know. I'll be glad to help free of charge. I said, well, that's wonderful. So maybe you also have some sort of gift or talent that's not listed. Say, listen, I can do this. If you have a need for it, if you use it, here I am. Just let me know. So write that down too, if you have some sort of talent or ability or gift that you'd like to use. And we're trying to expand our ministries. In fact, we were supposed to start the ministry this morning, but I couldn't find the angel outfit. I forgot to bring it over. What we're going to do is, you've seen those guys sometimes driving from those stores on the street corners, holding those signs up, and they do that little dance with their headphones on. With this young lady named Mary Elizabeth, she was going to stand right there in New York Avenue with a sign, seats available, That's her new ministry. Dancing there with the headphones on. You know how they put those moves on? We worked with her on Wednesday. She has some nice steps. I think she's all set. So that's a ministry that's different. It's unique. It works. It'll be sort of fun. And Rick tomorrow is expanding the religious ed ministry. We're going on to Shady Land with the trailer park. And we're going to teach. She's going to start from scratch with the children who do not come here, who probably know nothing about God. Start like really almost missionary work. Start from scratch and gather them in the field and begin teaching. He can use help. He can help. If you don't teach, he can help organize, help give out a snack. Or maybe we could expand to another block and there's so many, I'm saying there's so many. There are so many opportunities. I'm going to ask you just give an hour or two of your time. We're not asking for a lot. We all chip in. Because we're God's beloved. I'd like to share this sort of touching Irish story. How these two women were sitting on a bench, and one woman was lamenting to her friend that she lost the sense of God in her life. And she sort of whined, complained, if only God would make his presence felt, that I know that he's with me, that he touched me. If only. And her friend said, she says, well, why don't you pray for it? Pray God that he will touch you and ask God to lay his hand upon you. She says, I can do that? Oh, sir, you could do that. You pray to God. And so she began to pray. She closed her eyes with almost great agony and great emotion, began asking God to touch her. And all of a sudden she said, with great joy, he touched me. He touched me. I felt them. And she was ecstatic with great joy. He touched me. And then she paused and said, but it felt awfully a lot like your hand. And her friend said, well, why? It was my hand. And she was sort of disappointed, said, it was your hand? I said, yeah, but what did you think God was going to do? Did you think he was going to make an arm long enough to reach down from heaven to touch you? He just took the hand that was nearest and used that. That's how God works. He takes the hand that is nearest and he uses that. Well, what do you think God's going to do? We need greeters. You think God's going to come down and open the door for us? We think God's going to come down and sing in the choir? You think God's going to come down, okay, I'll feed the poor? He's not going. He's going to take the hand that is nearest and use that. And those hands are yours. Because we are God's beloved. And despite our sins, our shortcomings, he loves us. He is fond of us, and He is pleased with us.